Hey everyone, it's Connor here from EHT Group. So today's quick video is going to look at the Thermon TCM2 and the Thermon TC202, which is the same for the 101 and the 201 controllers. But we're going to look at specifically the low current alarm and the low temperature alarm settings. So let's get into it. So to check the low current or the low temperature alarm on a TCM2, love the Thermon TCM2 controller. It's very easy to navigate and do things directly in the field. So on your main screen, there's a couple alarms here, but this is our test lab, so you can ignore them, is I'm just gonna go into, hit the gear icon and get into the programming settings. And then I'm gonna scroll down for low temperature alarm until I get to low temp alarm settings. And the TCM2 is, we don't disable the parameter. So if you have an ambient circuit and you want to disable your low temperature alarm, you just need to bring that to a very low threshold. So bring it down to -60, -70 degrees C. But this is how we make changes. So if I want to make changes to circuit 1 or circuit 2, I'm just going to click that circuit and then make a modification to the new value. Once it's entered in, I can then reset the lowest temperature it's ever seen, or just hit reset no. And then I can just hit the gear icon a handful of times and then I'm back. For the low current alarm settings, it's very similar. So gear icon, I'm just gonna scroll down to low current alarms and same thing. So circuit 1, circuit 2, and a couple checks here. You rarely ever want to see your low current alarms set to 0. The only time you would ever see this is if you have a heat trace circuit that is drawing an extremely low current or less than 0.3, and even then I'm always resistant in ever disabling a low current alarm setting. If you guys are ever curious what you should set them to, I just encourage you guys to reach out to us. We'll just hop on a call with you and tell you and give you guys some feedback or some advice in terms of what you should set your low current alarm settings. But the big check here is just ensuring that this is not set to 0. Okay. So setting or checking or making changes to the low temperature and the low current alarm on these Thermon TC model controllers is like insanely easy. Really, when you're at your main screen, is if I want to look at my low current alarm setting, I'm just clicking low current, and if I want to look at my low temperature alarm setting, I'm just hitting low temperature alarm, and I see what the parameters are set to. So low current alarm, as we've probably said a couple times, is that this rarely should ever be set to 0. Okay, so setting it to 0 is essentially disabling that low current alarm setting. So to make changes to it is we're going to hit program, and then we're going to hit low current alarm, and then we can make modifications to that setting. Okay, and I can just hit enter and then return to scan mode. So now my low current alarm is set to 0.3. For the low temperature alarm settings is if you have ambient controlled heat trace circuits, you want to make sure that this value is set very low, -50, -60 degrees Celsius for an example. Or for pipe sense circuits, or where you have temperature devices like RTDs on your process piping or process equipment, you want to make sure that this is close to, a few degrees below your maintained temperature, and whatever your heat trace isometrics or your set point schedules say. But a standard rule of thumb is like 3 to 5 degrees below your maintained temp. So if you have a maintain of 10 degrees Celsius, your low temperature alarm is typically 5 or 7 degrees Celsius if you have an RTD on your process piping or equipment. So again, to make changes to that, is I'm just hitting program, low temperature alarm, and then I can make modifications to it here. Hit enter. Okay, I can program RTD2. Temp alarm, program equals RTD2, or for RTD1. So that's how we make that modification if you have 2 RTDs on a single heat trace circuit. Okay, thanks guys.